Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode. Right, I think I've got the subscribe button on now. Push the subscribe button. I want to see if I can get a couple more subscribers and share it as well with your friends, please. I'll ask. Right, news and an interesting topic for tonight. First of all, news. Boris has been chatting to the lady. And the police, by the looks of it, and they're all sticking to their stories, and no one's getting any more fines, although they've got more pictures and everything like that. So basically, I think it's just sticking two fingers up at the public. So okay, well, we'll just vote you out, and we'll make sure that we don't help out either. You pay your fee, take your chance. Yeah. So. So we'll just remind you that another MP has actually been sent down today for 18 months for touching up young lads. Imran Khan, former Conservative MP, he's been sent down for 18 months. So another one. There's just every day there's one being sent down. So if we look at that, it's another 600 days. There'll be none of them left in power anyway. They'll all be inside. Right. Moving swiftly on, something's happening in St. Petersburg. They were having a pop concert, and they've all basically, I'm not going to swear because, as you know, I don't swear on the channel, but basically they all said, for the war, you know what I mean, in Russia. So that's not very good for Mr. Putin. So, and it's very rare that that this sort of information gets out, that they're actually sort of like saying, we don't want to be at war anymore. So obviously, all sorts is going off over there. If they've got them, because you have to be quite brave to do that sort of thing. Right. Now I was also watching. Right, that's as much news as I'm going to do at this point. Oh, I will add that the monkeypox is up to about 50 something now. So, all I will say is, if your husband comes in with monkeypox all over his fingers, you might be looking for a divorce. Right. Moving on. Right. Now, monkeypox is not natural to the UK. So, and certain other things invade other countries from the natural world. And this is my topic of conversation. It's not a long, boring thing, because I don't do that. About 10 minutes and that's it. So I'm not going to bore you too long. Right. In America, I was watching a program about iguanas. Yeah, these iguanas in Miami and everything. They're huge. They're massive, great things. And they're having to kill them because they're actually eating everything and destroying everything around them, sort of thing. It's like an invasion. And there's lots of people going out there, and they've got high power rifles shooting them. Even bows and arrows, some people are going out with shooting them, trying to shrink them down. Now they've got a lot of problems over there with like anacondas as well. They're actually killing the alligators off because they're getting that big. So they've got quite a few species like carp as well. But I thought, well, it's not only just America that has this problem. The UK also has invasive species, and some of them, you're so used to seeing them, you don't actually realise that they are invasive species. They're not natural to this country. So I thought I'd list a few of them and sort of get your mind thinking a little bit about them. There's some strange ones in there, like one of the strangest ones, and these are all confirmed as well, are raccoons. Yeah, apparently raccoons have sort of been released. There's one little section of them quite happily tootling around at the moment, so we don't know whether they're going to be good. They're not going to be good for our environment because they eat anything. They literally, I don't know what the word for it, eating anything, I don't know if it's omnivore or whatever, but they will eat anything. Rubbish, frogs, toads, birds, eggs, small, anything they can get their hands on, they will eat. So those could be very bad for us if they got into large numbers. There's also, I was going to say a quokka, but it's not a quokka. It's another animal the size of the raccoon, and I forgot the name at the moment, but there's only one area there in at the moment. I'll come back to that another day. Right, okay. I'll throw the one that you will become commonly known with, grey squirrels. Grey squirrels were introduced, and basically they outcompeted. They didn't kill the red squirrel, by the way. Not as people say, they didn't. They just outbeat them for food, basically, and pushed the red squirrels out. So the red squirrels are quite shy compared to grey squirrels. Grey squirrels are very opportunist. So you're all used to seeing grey squirrels, but originally they weren't over here. In one part of the country, there's actually chipmunks as well. Now, I'd love one as a pet, one of those. Obviously, someone's had the chipmunks as pets and released them. At the moment, it's one area only that they're in. I think that's the northeast that's in. Ones you will see down south are terrapins. I think it was the 80s, everyone went mad for Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, and they all went out and bought terrapins. And then they found out that terrapins grow big, so they all released them. And they don't. I'm going to dispute this because they say that yes, there's a lot of them out there, but they're not reproducing. But actually, in my previous vocations, I was doing a display at Caerphilly Castle, and we looked into the moat there, and there are young terrapins in there. So I think they probably are actually multiplying. Right, crayfish. We have natural crayfish in this country. You don't see them unless you live in the country in little streams. But the American, I think it's the signal crayfish that has come across, and that has pretty much wiped out the English version anyway. I think Wales and everywhere else at the moment, they've still got their established populations, but the indigenous crayfish over here are hard pressed, and they can crossbreed as well. So the American ones are actually outbidding. They're bigger as well than the UK versions. I keep seeing English. I'm terribly sorry if I offend anybody, but it was just slip of the tongue. Right. Right. So that's those. We've also got the largest of one of them. Now, some are being introduced. Bison are being introduced to this country because they used to live here and they were wiped out in the medieval days, and they've been reintroduced just lately. Same as they're trying with wolves as well. So those aren't really established and breeding yet, but they actually have been placed over here so far. Right, the largest ones, and they're in several areas, are wallabies. There are 3 places in the UK where wallabies actually have been sighted. With these cold winters, it tends to kill them off a little bit, but they have been spotted down south, up in the lakes area, and on a small island just off the coast as well. So wallabies, yeah. So if you see, for anyone who's going, what's a wallaby? It's a kangaroo, small kangaroo. Munkjack deer aren't indigenous. Those were introduced by one of the earls. The same earl, I can't remember his name, but the same earl actually introduced zander as well, which is a fish. It's also known as a pipe perch. That was introduced from Germany in the 1930s, I think that was. So that was quite interesting. The aggressive fish, very cannibalistic as well, so they'll eat their own, but they tend to sort of like keep themselves in check with numbers wise on that one. Done the raccoons, and one that you didn't think of is pheasants. And you're going to go, pheasants. Everyone sees pheasants. Right. The reason why pheasants are on the list is because originally they were brought in from abroad, and I think they fetched over from France with the Celts and the Romans, everything like that. But the reason why they're on there is because they're farmed. Now, if you come from the countryside, you know all about pheasant farming and everything like that. Everyone from the towns and everything don't know that because they think that they actually are wild birds. They aren't. The reason for this is that they're a bit daft, and they lay their nest in the open when they do, or in low hedges, which basically means the foxes and weasels and everything can eat those eggs. So they're actually bred in captivity, fed in captivity, and then released on the day of hunting. So the anti-hunt protesters, before you start screaming and everything like that about them, without them actually being farmed, because that's what they're basically doing, without them being farmed, they would not be able to survive in this country. So if you see a pheasant, they all have been farmed in cages. Very, very humane, but and then they're all released into the open to do their own things. A few will breed naturally, but as I say, it wouldn't continue because they're just a bit daft and lay their eggs all over the place for everything to eat. But I thought I'd throw that one in. If anyone, there's quite a few out there as well, other ones as well. So, and they're all always building up as well, because there is a snake down south. I think it's Plymouth and London they're in. And it's a big long word, a Lothian snake or something like that it is. It's not expected to rapidly go out. It's not poisonous. It is a constrictor. It's only in 2 places. Very shy snakes as well. So they might nibble on your finger. They won't even get through your skin. Yeah, so they're not. The only poisonous ones over here, obviously, is the adder. But those are like a very mild bee sting. So you've got any snakes you see across here in the UK, they are generally not going to be poisonous. So unless it's a big escape one, which happens now and again. But bar that, no, normal snakes across here, they're not really dangerous to people. They're quite shy as well. And don't disturb them either, because they are all protected species, because they are that rare to see. So if you see one, take a picture of it by all means, but don't touch it, don't disturb it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my evasive species of Great Britain list. There are more. If you want to put in comments, if you know another one or you've got the history of another one, I don't mind. I'll read those out. Yeah. Remember, push the button. I don't do the same subjects all the time because I think it's boring. I like to add a little bit of something else that you can sit there and go, do you know? And then your partner's going to go, you've been watching Mick again, haven't you? You've done it again. So from that side, I'll leave you with it. I hope you have a lovely evening, all wrapped up. Right, and I'll catch everyone next time, and we'll see what other interesting facts I can find. Ta-ta!